You open up the door for AI-driven toxicity. If there's no friction for me to comment on your post in Twitter, then 800,000 fake bots can comment and they can create any impression they want.
Hey guys, welcome back to Library of Wealth. At the MicroStrategy World 2023 conference, Bitcoin bull Michael Saylor discusses the recent changes coming to Bitcoin in 2023 and how AI is becoming a big problem for crypto. Saylor admits that after the recent banking collapse and the events of 2022, the Bitcoin network is more important than ever. In this recent interview, he gives a crucial assessment of the network security surrounding Bitcoin, as well as MicroStrategy's plan for 2023. The increase of Bitcoin's value over the past several months has financially benefited MicroStrategy, allowing it to turn a profit during Q1. It registered a net income of $461 million, whereas the software business revenue actually exceeded the estimations. The company also used Bitcoin's price surge to repay its $205 million loan at a 22% discount. Let's get right into the latest interview with Michael Saylor. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you enjoy the content we do here on this channel.
Since we started, our enterprise market value has gone from about $600 million to more than $6 billion. So we've 10x the enterprise value of the company. If we trace our performance back to August of 2020 when we adopted a Bitcoin strategy, Bitcoin's been the #1 performing asset of all the possible treasury assets. If you contrast it to the S&P index or NASDAQ or gold or silver or bonds, you couldn't have done better than to have selected Bitcoin. And MicroStrategy's stock has actually outperformed Bitcoin as of just a few days ago. So I think Bitcoin was up like 140%, and MicroStrategy's up a bit more than that. So I would say it's definitely been a winning treasury strategy. Nobody wants to invest in a company that's holding tons of cash or tons of treasury bonds, because from their point of view, cash is never going to outperform the S&P index, at least they don't expect it to, and they could own treasury bonds themselves. So by us adopting Bitcoin, we were able to tap into an asset which has been appreciating it in excess of 50% for the past 3 years. And 50% is better than 3%. But we also were able to plug our balance sheet into the crypto economy. And because we plugged into Bitcoin, that meant that MicroStrategy as a stock serves as an institutional on-ramp for other investors. And if you're a hedge fund or you're an investor and you have billions of dollars and you have a mandate to invest in securities, you can't buy Bitcoin even if you wanted to. You may not be able to per your mandate, and if you wanted to, it might take you 6 months to a year to set up the account. And then it's you're investing in a commodity, and as you know, if I bought a commodity on a crypto exchange, it would be challenging for me to figure out what the custody situation is. And I can't borrow money to buy it, and I can't borrow against it so easily. So if you're an institutional investor and you wanted Bitcoin exposure, you could buy our stock. You could buy it on the NASDAQ through your broker-dealer. You can borrow against it. You can borrow to buy it. It's a security, not a commodity. And so what would be a 12-month, very, very difficult process and very expensive process becomes maybe a 12-minute or even a 120-second process.
Something else people are worried about in the future as far as open source, open AI.
I think that the promise of AI is that this digital intelligence can do incredibly intricate things as well as or better than actual human beings. But one of the challenges of it is that means that you can spin up a billion fake AI accounts on Twitter or YouTube or Facebook that are more interesting and more engaged than the actual human beings are that they replace. And those AIs can pass the CAPTCHAs or the proof of humanity test. And so that means that we can no longer rely upon free accounts that are not cryptographically secured or monetarily secured. So the solution that Lightning offers and the solution that Bitcoin offers is the idea that someone can create an identity and they can post a security deposit, say $20 or some 100,000 Satoshis. And then once you posted that deposit, you can cryptographically sign that credential and then use that credential as your verification to cross the iMessage network or the Twitter network or the YouTube network or a Microsoft network or a Facebook network. And you can integrate those networks together. So you can integrate the blue checks from all those networks together. You can log in and authenticate as a real person onto that network. And in many cases, if there is no friction, then you open up the door for AI-driven toxicity. If there's no friction for me to comment on your post in Twitter, then 800,000 fake bots can comment and they can create any impression they want. Maybe it's a deposit of security that guarantees that you're not going to launch a phishing attack on me or a cyber attack on me. So when you introduce that small deposit, let's say $10 to move through cyberspace, it's de minimis for a human being because they post $10 of Bitcoin once in their life. But if I wanted to launch 1 billion bots at you, it would cost me $10 billion to do it. So when you create that little bit of friction, you create consequence and truth and integrity in cyberspace. If you introduce that across all these social media, you can use it to clean up the phishing and the scamming and the toxicity. And you have this other very interesting promise of Bitcoin, which is Bitcoin's the world's most secure computer network. So if I wanted to inscribe a document, let's say my last will and testament, I could inscribe that document and encrypt it and then place it on the Bitcoin network. I could digitally sign it with my private key. It would be distributed to hundreds of thousands of nodes around the world. If I gave you $100 billion and you had 4 years, and you spent that entire 4 years with $100 billion trying to build hash power to attack the network, you could somewhat slow down my message, but you couldn't stop my message after 4 years and $100 billion. So Bitcoin it's a way to inscribe truth forever.
Despite the volatile nature of Bitcoin and the 2022 bear market that disrupted the cryptocurrency industry, MicroStrategy seems determined to only keep strengthening its Bitcoin position. Bitcoin is still holding strong amid the recent rally above $29,000, and now investors and crypto enthusiasts are starting to take notice. What do you think about Michael Saylor's recent interview at MicroStrategy World 2023 and his predictions for Bitcoin in the coming months? Comment down below. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Library of Wealth. We'll see you in the next video.